This year's Xiaomi 12 series is different from last year's. The Xiaomi 12 has become a small screen flagship, while the 12 Pro is becoming more like an upgraded version of Mi 11. The appearance also has a new change, although Legend said, "We want to fully compete with the iPhone." But with the Xiaomi Civi, it looks similar to the Xiaomi 12 Pro. Can really make consumers spend more than $700 to buy it? Welcome to our first review of 2022, and this is Xiaomi 12 Pro. We bought the Xiaomi 12 Pro in green vegan leather, and to be honest, it looks pretty ordinary at first glance. It's not the first time that the vegan leather back cover has been used on Xiaomi's flagship phone. It doesn't feel any different from Mi 11. The Xiaomi logo area has become simpler. The rectangular lens module is similar to the Xiaomi Civi, with a large circle and several small circles, but the addition of a few lines across the design gives the lens module a more orderly feel. The new color scheme does look more refreshing, but the overall design really doesn't have as much personality as the Mi 11. I don't mean to say that the Xiaomi 12 Pro is ugly, it's actually quite beautiful. It just lacks the kind of recognition that makes it easy to tell that it's Xiaomi's latest flagship. The Xiaomi 12 Pro has an improved frame design because of the more rounded frame and back curvature, plus the smaller size. It feels great to hold. NFC, IR blaster, and X-axis liner motor are not missing either. Looking good, feeling good. In the hands and full of features, I think the Xiaomi 12 Pro has done well enough. We all know that Mi 11 comes with a very good screen. The screen of Xiaomi 12 Pro is upgraded on top of that. Not only does it keep the 1440p resolution and 120Hz refresh rate, but it uses Samsung's E5 material. Plus, the micro lens technology that enables the Xiaomi 12 Pro to be more power saving. Speaking of power saving, Mi 12 Pro has another trick, the second generation LTPO technology. We all know that because of Pro Motion technology. The 3000 mAh iPhone 13 Pro has achieved amazing battery life, and this second generation LTPO is similar to Pro Motion, which allows the Xiaomi 12 Pro's screen refresh rate to switch adaptively between 1 to 120Hz. For example, if I swipe the screen, I can see that it can switch to a different refresh rate with the scroll speed. On many non-Xiaomi applications, although you can change the refresh rate with the swipe speed, you can switch back to 10Hz when you stop. Watching videos can switch to 30 to 60Hz depending on your video, and when reading ebooks, you can theoretically go down to as low as 1Hz. But in fact, it seems that Xiaomi is not optimized in place. Repeated tests have failed to reach 1Hz. I suggest you go to these settings to change the auto refresh rate to custom 120Hz, because some app system will lock in 90Hz or 60Hz, such as Twitter. Open the custom 120Hz to achieve the highest refresh rate, and the screen still drops to 10Hz when it stops. You may be confused why the first generation LTPO like Oppo Find X3 did not feel much power saving. Because the first generation, no matter what you are doing, can only use 60Hz and 120Hz 2 gears. And the second generation has 6 gears. Because of the use of ultra-thin fingerprint recognition module, the fingerprint recognition area is on a very suitable location. The screen glass is also made of Corning Gorilla Victus. Although 2022 has just started, but I can promise that this screen should be one of the most powerful screens of this year. We should all know very well how the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 is performing this year. So, can Xiaomi tame this fire dragon? I must complain, this time Xiaomi has added speed mode option and developer options. If you want to play the game with highest quality performance at full power, you need to turn on this option. Then turn on performance mode, and then go to the game mode to turn on high quality. We have turned on these modes for the following tests. Antutu bench scores are close to 1 million. 3D Mark 9840, Geekbench 5 single core 1154, multi-core 3535. As much as we wanted to test the 3D Mark stress test, even with both performance mode and speed mode turned off, The Xiaomi 12 Pro was unable to complete the task in an indoor environment with the room temperature of 21 degrees Celsius. The body temperature at this point was around 50 degrees. This means that Xiaomi is not able to suppress the heat of this chip, and the temperature control is very strict. When it comes to game testing, PUBG HDR graphics extreme frame rate can be maintained at 60 frames per second. There is no frequency reduction and the phone is not very hot. The Bright Ridge case is more interesting. The full power output was locked at 50 frames per second after a minute and then at 40 frames per second after 4 minutes. Xiaomi 12 Pro didn't hold up in the second half of the test, going back and forth between 40 and 25 frames per second, compared to the Edge X30, which has worse heat dissipation. The performance output is actually weaker, but the temperature is not as horribly high as the Edge X30. The average power is only 7.6 watts, which is lower than the both Edge X30 and Mi 11. Xiaomi's scheduling strategy for Genshin Impact is completely different from Motorola's. Motorola tends to use the highest frequency and wait until it overheats before lowering the frequency. 12 Pro is to keep the temperature around 45 degrees to ensure you can be at a higher frame rate for a longer time. I personally like Xiaomi's gaming strategy better. At first, my hands will feel a lot better. All in all, I found the Xiaomi 12 Pro's gaming performance acceptable, especially since its very big improvement over last year's Mi 11. The Xiaomi 12 Pro no longer uses Samsung's sensor for its main camera, but moves back to Sony's latest 50 megapixel IMX707 sensor. Let's compare the Mi 11 Ultra, Xiaomi's flagship phone with the best images, and see how good the Xiaomi 12 Pro really is. This time, the Xiaomi 12 Pro is a change from its previous tuning style. The colors are more intense and the contrast is higher than before. Unlike other brands, the sharpening algorithm has been enhanced. Yes, Xiaomi has finally learned to please the user in terms of color. The photos are finally not very bland. At night, the performance is similar to Mi 11 Ultra most of the time. The main improvement is in the color reproduction. If the environment is dark, Mi 11 Ultra photos will be greenish, while Xiaomi 12 Pro will not. And the night view mode algorithm has been greatly improved. The night mode wait time has been drastically reduced, and the benefit is that the photos don't get blurry. The Xiaomi 12 Pro has a wait time of about 2 seconds even when the night view mode is on, so the photos are very clear. The Xiaomi 12 Pro's ultra-wide camera and 2x telephoto camera sensors are both 50 megapixel JN1. Although the ultra-wide field of view is not as wide as the Mi 11 Ultra, the dynamic range is better, and the purple fringing issue and edge image quality is improved from the hardware side. The ultra-wide angle performs the same as the main camera most of the time as well. Auto mode performs about the same as Mi 11 Ultra at night. The difference is mainly in the algorithm of the night mode. You can see that the Xiaomi 12 Pro's night mode is indeed a bit brighter than the auto mode, while the Mi 11 Ultra doesn't seem to have any changes. The 2x telephoto lens isn't as impressive as I thought it would be. Even if the Mi 11 Ultra uses the main camera for cropping, the image quality performance is better than the 2x optical telephoto lens of the Xiaomi 12 Pro. Highlight control, noise control are not as good as Mi 11 Ultra. But the dynamic range is still better if HDR is successfully triggered. At night, the Xiaomi 12 Pro performed well in auto mode, and both phones performed similarly. But once night mode is turned on, both perform poorly. The Mi 11 Ultra has a poor algorithm, while the Xiaomi 12 Pro is easily blurred due to the lack of OIS. Xiaomi 12 Pro has done a great job of optimizing the camera experience. For example, the new focus tracking feature, which will automatically catch the focus if someone or a dog or a cat appears in front of the camera. This is good news for many users who have children or pets. There is also the optimization of the shutter delay. You can look at the shutter speed in comparison to Mi 11 Ultra, which is not in the same level anymore. There is also an animation when switching between lenses now, instead of jumping straight to the cameras. Stability has also been improved. Like in this photo, the Mi 11 Ultra took 3 photos that were overexposed, while the Xiaomi 12 Pro encountered no such bugs. Overall, the Xiaomi 12 Pro has surpassed the Mi 11 Ultra in many aspects, and considering the good photo experience and the price difference, the Xiaomi 12 Pro's photo system is already tied with the Mi 11 Ultra for the first place. The video performance is relatively similar to the photo performance with the high contrast ratio. All 3 lenses are capable of shooting 4K 60 frames per second video. You can also freely switch between the 3 lenses when recording 4K 30 frames per second video. You can see that the dynamic range of the Xiaomi 12 Pro is not as good as that of the Mi 11 Ultra, and the grain color is too intense and not as natural as that of the Mi 11 Ultra. In general, the Xiaomi 12 Pro's video recording level is also top-notch, and there is not much difference between it and the Mi 11 Ultra. You may not believe it when you hear it, but the Xiaomi 12 Pro actually comes with 4 unit speakers. 2 low-frequency units and 2 high-frequency units ensure that both vocals and instruments are well separated. One is on the top and one is on the bottom, so no matter how you hold the phone, you will always block one. Other than that, the speaker performance is probably one of the best I've ever used.
Everybody knows that I'm breaking down. Everybody knows I ain't faking now. Everybody knows my heart's vacant now. Yeah, she hates me now. I made mistakes, but now I don't ever wanna be alone. I don't really ever feel at home. On my own, in the zone. That's the only way I know. Feeling low, about to blow back up. Here I go. Never let the doubt creep in. Gotta pop a couple more aspirin. I don't think I'll ever let you win. Easier to break it off as friends. I don't really understand myself. I don't really understand, need help. I don't wanna be left on the shelf. Couldn't even hear me if I yelled. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone. It's so cold
After the Surge S1C1, this time Xiaomi launched the Surge P1 chip, and this is the first time P1 chip is equipped on Xiaomi 12 Pro. This is a charging chip that allows the phone to do 120-watt charging with a single cell. Previously, 120-watt charging could only exist in dual cell phones, so the battery capacity of phones with 120-watt charging has not been able to break through 4500 mAh. The 46 mAh Xiaomi 12 Pro proves that Xiaomi is ahead of the game when it comes to charging. Wireless charging can only do 50 watts for some reason, and you can watch our Mix 4 review for more details. Of course, Xiaomi knows that 120-watt charging are expensive, so they are included in the box. So actually charging speed is shown in the line graph, 5 minutes to 37% and 90 minutes to full. Although it will be a little bit slower than the dual cell Mix 4, but it's also very fast. In the battery life test, half an hour of 1080p online video and TikTok consumed 6% and 5% of the power. The power consumption of the 3 games also looks very high. The first thing I want to say is that all 3 games are on performance mode and speed mode. Secondly, it's at 4040p and 120Hz screen, which is really good but also very power hungry. What's more, perhaps you may think LTPO doesn't save much power, but this is a test in a single scene, but the refresh rate is fixed, so the power saving effects of LTPO cannot be reflected in our test. The actual use is certainly able to save more power than last year is Mi 11 series. Finally, let's talk about MIUI 13. Honestly, it doesn't differ much from MIUI 12.5 because it is mainly based on MIUI 12.5 to do the stability optimization. Yes, it has become much less buggy and laggy. All kinds of animations don't drop frames anymore. Some widgets have been added to the desktop as well, so that the desktop will not become so boring. The new feature can allow you to stream your content across Xiaomi devices, but it hasn't been updated yet. The new system doesn't really have much to show, so you can think of it as a MIUI 12.8 to use it. This year's Xiaomi 12 Pro has become more stable, although some areas have taken a step back, such as less 400 mAh battery compared to Mi 11 Pro, smaller sensor size for the main camera, and less power for wireless charging, but its experience has improved. In this year, Xiaomi realized that paper specs do not mean a good phone experience. Only good optimization can make consumers satisfied. This is the phone that consumers want. A smooth, good-looking, and also easy-to-use Xiaomi new flagship phone. Well, that's all there is to this review. If you like it, you can give us a like or leave a comment. We will soon make a photo comparison video between Xiaomi 12 Pro and iPhone 13 Pro. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I'm James from Gizmochina, and I'll see you in the next time.